with all these flowers are appearing in behind me here. As you know, boys and girls, one of those is from Maureen. I think that's Maureen's one. That's from Ray Reynolds for my birthday. These were from my niece and her little family who are in Woodall Spa up in Lincolnshire. And they came, a little man knocked on the door. I think it was it on my birthday or the day after? It might have been the day after. I can't remember now. A little man knocked on the door and there was a box. And I thought, oh, how exciting. A box. You know. I mean, we do get excited when there's a box arrive, isn't it? And we get so many of them now, when you think about it. Do you remember, like, I don't know, 10 years ago or something? You know, even less than that. 10 years ago, you might get 1, 2, 3 parcels per year. Something for your birthday, maybe a couple of little bits at Christmas, or maybe something you ordered. You'd only get 2 or 3 parcels each year, wouldn't you? Now, it's like every week 2 things arrive at my door. In a box from Amazon, usually. I'm a big Amazon buyer. You know, whatever I want, I tend to have a look on Amazon. There is not a lot now, to be honest. I don't get many parcels now, because we've got everything. But I don't need anything. You know, very lucky. But we get hundreds and hundreds of, like, parcels. I must get, I don't know, 100 parcels delivered here every year. You know, not just boxes, but things in padded envelopes. That sort of, you know, brown envelopes where you don't know, could you deliver the magazines in a brown paper envelope with no markings on the front? You know, that sort of thing. And we get hundreds and hundreds of boxes in the door. And, but I still get excited. I might order something. Have you done this? You order something, okay, and then you forget about it. And then a day or 2 later, oh, it's a box. Oh, I wonder what that is. And you shake. Why don't you open the box immediately? Do you do that? And you tap around the box and you give it a little bit of a shake, and suddenly you hear all this glass running around inside it, and you wish you hadn't shaken it. Have you ever done that? We love getting parcels, don't we? Anyway, so there was this parcel at the door, and inside were these beautiful flowers from my niece. And can you see them all from there? It's a little bit out of focus there because it's behind me. Can only focus on one thing. What do you want me to focus on? My face or that? Oh, right, okay then. So they were from my niece. Now, I did promise you... Oh, I wanted to show you what Ronnie and his other half bought me for my birthday as well. There we are. Le Occitan, or in English, L'Octane. L'Octane, or in French, L'Occitan. L'Occitan. Another box. We like boxes, don't we? Do you like coloured boxes? I like coloured boxes. My dad, when I was a little boy... He used to work for the Evening Standard, and he used to bring boxes home for me. Boxes and rolls of paper. As I say, he worked for the Evening Standard, and they had these rolls, not long, they were about that long, rolls of paper. And I don't know what they actually used this paper for, but when it come to sort of near the end of the roll, which wasn't always... right at the end. You might have that much paper still on the roll. They would just change them over, I suppose, if they were going to tea or something like that. Oh, we can't be bothered to wait for this anymore. We'll change it now. And they'd had all these sort of half-used rolls of paper. And my dad used to bring them home for me. And boxes. I don't know why. I never did anything with the boxes. They were just stacked in my bedroom. That and the rolls of and the rolls of paper. Wasn't brilliant quality paper. It was like the recycled stuff you can buy. So it wasn't quite white. It had kind of a yellowy colour to it. But he used to bring me home these boxes of nothing. Boxes of air. And he used to travel. My dad worked in Fleet Street. And he would travel on the tube train with 2 boxes, tied up in a piece of string, and some rolls of paper in there as well. And I just collect all this. I wouldn't draw on it. I just collect these rolls of paper. What an odd thing. Did you collect anything as a child? What did you collect? Anything? Probably something normal like dolls or Scalextric's cars or something like that. Did you? I'm just trying to think of what my sister collected. I don't think my sister collected it. My sister had a selection of dolls. I used to poke the eyes out. What a horrible boy I was. I used to poke, because in those days, the eyes were, they were like implants into the plastic doll's head. I used to poke the eyes in for some reason. I liked to poke the eyes. And once that happened, that was it. You couldn't put the eye back into its socket. It was gone. poked into the doll. Poor little dollies. We didn't have Barbie. I don't think she had Barbie or Cindy or anything like that. Certainly not early on. But my sister definitely had, she had dolls, and I would poke the eyes in on the dolls. She used to go crying to my mum then. Oh, what a horrible boy I was. So this is what they bought me. L'Occitane, and in there is my favourite aftershave, which I don't wear much aftershave. I certainly don't buy it myself, only as presents. Now, this is like a lemon fragrance. Now, you can get a similar one from the hairdressers, actually, and it's a £5 for a plastic bottle, and it lasts ages. But you spray it on, within 5 minutes, the smell's gone. This one, you spray it on, it stays there all day. And L'Occitane refill, shower gel refill, which is lemon as well, which is great. And it would be great if I had the original bottle to put the refill into, but I threw that away ages ago. So I'll have to get an original bottle as well, but that's okay, and that's a nice present to have, isn't it? I also wanted to show you what we were given, what I was given at the Grove Hotel the other day. Do you remember I told you? So here are, after we had our afternoon tea, because we went to another afternoon tea yesterday, at the Strand Palace Hotel. I'll tell you about that in a bit. But after we went to the Grove on Tuesday, they gave me a couple of bits to take home. One of which was a selection of cakes. Now, I'm not going to eat these now, okay, because they have been sitting there for 2 days. The reason they've been sitting there for 2 days is because I forgot to show them to you on Tuesday. So I'll just show these to you and then probably throw them away, which is a bit of a waste. But there you are. You get the little box, you see, what opens up, and there's some cakes there. Look at those. And, oh, do you think they'd be all right to eat? They do smell nice still. I think they might have fresh ingredients. I better not eat them. Don't take the risk. Not worth taking the risk, but there we are. There are the cakes. Can you see those? Aren't they delicious? And they put these in a little box, as I say. And we both got a box each of these 4 little cakes to take away with us. And there is the little box, and it folds around like that. Does it say the Grove on it? It doesn't say the Grove on it anywhere, but there we are. That's the little box of cakes that we were given to take away. And I was given one of these. Now, each of these posh hotels seems to have some sort of animal that signifies the hotel. Ronnie's other half, he works in the... Oh, I can never remember the name of the damn place. The Runnymede Hotel, which is on the Thames, which is very nice. Now, their little animal is a duck. They've got hundreds and hundreds of these ducks everywhere, and you can buy them at quite inflated prices. You get them a lot cheaper on Amazon, but nevertheless, the Grove is a horse. Here it is. Or a donkey. Is it a donkey? It's a donkey, isn't it? E-R, E-R, ooh, ooh, ooh. E-R, E-R, ooh, 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 ooh. There it is. I was given this donkey as my birthday present from the Grove Hotel. Isn't that lovely? And they were about 25 quid, these are. They just gave me one. How nice. So that's a lovely thought. And as I said to you on Wednesday, when we did a show, you want to go somewhere nice and it's not expensive. Not in comparison to some of the places we've been to. If you go to London for afternoon tea, it's quite expensive. Go outside of London, it's not too bad. I think it was about £37 each. Okay, for our afternoon at Grove Hotel. If you want champagne... Oh, no, that was the non-champagne. The champagne one, I think it wasn't that much dear, about £10 more expensive each person, but well worth doing. And having the cakes and all the sandwiches and that, all right? Let's say hello to some of you watching on the internet this morning. Who's got that first message in? Morning to Diane Jeb. Good morning, Diane. Gets the first message in this morning. Morning, Diane. Welcome along to the show. Ray Reynolds is there. Good morning to Adam the Plumber. Good morning, Heidi. All right, Heidi. Merlin's there. Evan. Good morning, Evan. Evan's a little bit disappointed. Last night, he has an observatory. No, not a telescope. He's got an actual observatory he owns down in Cornwall. And he couldn't look at the stars last night because it was raining. What a shame. I suggested that he counted raindrops instead. And he did give me a figure, but it was a bit mind-blowing, the figure. I mean, how you can sit there and count raindrops. Must have been very bored last night. You know. I mean, it's better there. It's possibly different to sheep. What do you do if you can't sleep? Do you count anything? Eh? What do you do when you can't go to sleep? What do you do? Is there something that you use to tip you over the edge other than pills? I'm not one for sleep. I've never taken a sleeping pill in my life. I just don't think it's a good thing to start taking sleeping pills. If you can't sleep, you can't sleep. That's it. Get up, watch the telly. Although I'm rarely uncomfortable in my bed. I seem to overheat a bit sometimes, but I'm not uncomfortable. I've got a lovely John Lewis mattress topper that I've had now for about 18 months that I bought the Christmas before last. And that really is luxurious. It was about 140 quid for this John Lewis mattress topper, all feathers in it. You know, you put it down, it's so soft, you just sink into the bed. So I'm not uncomfortable, but sometimes I do have trouble sleeping, especially if I haven't been to work. You know, I've got 4 nights off this week. I've had Tuesday, last night, and I've also got tomorrow night off because I'm going to a wedding in the afternoon. So I'm not working tomorrow night, and Sunday as well. So, you know, I do have trouble sleeping sometimes when I'm not working. Although last night and Tuesday night I was okay. Funny, isn't it? I don't know why it affects sometimes and not others, really. Good morning to Shane. Good morning, Shane. Heidi says, I love to see George whacking you in the face. Oh, no. No, I think that's Harry. I think that's Harry. In the video at the moment we're showing at the beginning, I think that's Harry. He whacks me twice. Comes round the back of the settee and whacks me in the face twice. You didn't see the one? Have you not seen the one George whacks me? I'm not sure if that one's on the video now. I can't remember now. You don't think I sit here watching myself while you're watching that, do you? God's sake, girl. Some people would do. They sit there and watch themselves back again. I can't think of anything worse, dear. Happy birthday today to Kim. Who's Kim? Is that your missus or your daughter? Evan? Whose birthday is it? Evan collects vintage telescopes. He's got 34. Wow. Wow. And I bet they're all in full... You're the sort of bloke that would buy something like that, and if there was something wrong with it, you'd fix it up and clean it up, wouldn't you? Yeah. Excellent. Good morning to Steve Murray. Morning, Steve. Are you coming out soon? How much longer is it going to be, dear? We haven't seen you for so long. I'm afraid, Steve, the Camden Eye thing didn't come back to me. They changed management and they didn't want it, unfortunately, so that's the way it is, mate. Morning, Merlin. Isn't it a bit strange, a high-class establishment having a donkey as its animal? Yeah, it is, really. It is, isn't it? A donkey. I suppose it's just like a advertisement type thing, isn't it? You know, I didn't see any donkeys walking around the estate, unfortunately. You know, although I wouldn't have ridden one. Oh, I just think it's very sad in Skegness. It's sad in Skegness. You've got these poor old donkeys, and they do look sad. Their heads are down like that, walking along the beach. I mean, they must. I mean, when they see these great big fat people coming towards them, they must think, oh, no, not him or not her. Mustn't they? They must think that. And you've got these great big... It should not be allowed, great big fat people to breaking the backs of poor little donkeys. Children only. Children only up to the age of... Mind you, there's some fat children around as well, isn't there? You know, it's not good. Not good. I don't care what people look like. What about their health? You know, it'll be all right. I mean, the funny thing is, people don't believe it. I'm sure people have got it into their mind that being overweight is perfectly all right and nothing's going to happen to me. They don't do anything about it. It worries me. It really worries me to see so many fat people. But back to the donkeys, dear. You know, there should be like an age limit. I don't know, of a sort of maybe 10 years old or something. Anyone over 10 is not allowed to go on a donkey. Not you, mate. Get off that donkey. Great big oaf. You see one of the darts players going on a donkey, like, I don't know, Eric Bristow. He was a big lad, wasn't he? Although I don't think he's that size anymore. Eric Bristow. Fat people should not be allowed on donkeys. Not a little bit. You know, vastly overweight people should not be... Poor donkeys. Oh, poor little donkeys. I love donkeys. Good morning Morning, Alan. Alan Bailey's back from Japan. And he bought me a little gift, which I showed you the other day, didn't I? I think I showed you that, my chocolate, my Planet's chocolate, which was actually quite nice. Planet's chocolate. Very, very tasty. It was chocolate in the shape of little planets. First of all, I started off with a moon and then a Mars. And then the Jupiter was extremely nice. That was bigger than the other ones, the Jupiter. Morning, Valium. No, Steve, no, I'm not taking any blooming sleeping tablets. I never have done. I rarely take tablets, actually. I certainly don't. I never self-medicate. Never. Honestly, never, never, never. I take pills every morning from the doctor that he prescribes, but that's it. If I go to the doctor and he says, take these pills, I will take them exactly as instructed. But that's it. I never self-medicate. I don't go out and buy, I don't know, aspirin or Imodium, you know, preferring it to just pour away on its own. So it's Kim's birthday today, which is Evan's wife. So happy birthday this morning to Kim. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kim. Happy birthday to you. Now, I usually do those at the end, Evan. So feel appreciated. Feel appreciated, sir. That's good. Pretty sure you would be if you had a clinically obese child sat on your back. Yeah, it's horrible, Merlin. I don't like zoos or anything like that treats wild animals. And even, I have to say, even safari parks. You know, people say, oh, that's all right. They're out in the open. You know, a lion out in the open in the UK in winter. Oh, it's not right, is it? They're not used to those temperatures. They should be in blooming Africa. Or somewhere like that. Roaming around. You know, anything that's restrictive, and even in a safari park, you know, the animal is restricted to a certain area, isn't he? Or she. They're restricted to a certain area. You go to Africa, they're just roaming wild. Aren't they? A little bit like us, we're roaming wild. Roaming in the river. Oh, that's rolling, isn't it? That's rolling. Heidi says, when do you put them cakes? Where did you put them? Well, they should have gone in the fridge, but they didn't. They went on my kitchen top there. They went on my kitchen top. They should have gone in the fridge, but no, I better not eat them now. It's not worth. Good morning to Gary Butler, nephew Gary Butler, who sells lawnmowers. If you want to buy a lawnmower, that's the man to see. Gary Butler there. He sells, not new ones, second-hand ones. He sells second-hand lawnmowers for about anything sort of between sort of 50 and 50 quid upwards, I think it is, something like that. Good morning to Joanna on YouTube this morning. And Paul Mosley is there as well. Mosley is there as well. Good morning to you two. Lots to talk about this morning, actually. It's much lighter now, isn't it? Have you noticed that? Much lighter in the mornings, and also much lighter when I'm going to work. I'm like, you know, I'll probably leave tonight about 6 o'clock, and it's not like daylight, but it's daylight, da 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 da, and it's daybreak, Barry Manilow's song. But it's still, it's okay. You know, it hasn't gone completely black yet. So over the coming weeks, it does seem to lighten up very quickly, doesn't it? We've gone through those dark, dismal days of winter, and it's brightening up now. And things are coming up in the garden. I've got my snowdrops are all out and open. I've got winter roses, also known as Christmas roses. They're open. Talking of plants, in yesterday's, we nicked this from the hotel. In yesterday's Metro, if you like plants, they're doing magnolia trees. 1 for 10 quid. Look at that. Aren't they pretty? I've got a couple of these in the garden. Magnolia trees. 1 for 10 quid, or even cheaper if you buy more than one. One moment, please. This is from vanmuren.com. If you buy 2 magnolia shrubs, $14.98 instead of 45 quid. 4 shrubs, $19.96 instead of 100 quid. I suppose they're only small, are they? How big are these? What's it say? Oh no, they're not too bad. They're supplied 1 metre tall, 39 inches tall. Oh, well, that's not too bad. But they are pretty. The thing is with magnolia trees, the flower comes before the leaves on these. So you go through the winter, everything drops off. You know, a little bit like myself, to be honest. hasn't appeared back either. You go for the winter, all the flowers drop off, and then the flower, everything drops off, leaves and all that. And then coming towards spring, the flowers start appearing on the branches. And then when the flowers are finished, and they don't last very long, a few days. That's it. You're looking after that tree for the whole year for a few days of flowers. And then they drop off and the leaves come. It's the opposite way round. How strange and mysterious. It must be a plant from one of the other planets. That's what it is. Cannot be a human, an Earth plant. No, it won't be. Good. Let's have a look here. Let's have a look. We got the Winter Olympics. That starts today, I think, 2:00, BBC One Colour, for the opening ceremony, and then it starts tonight. I bet it's Claire Balding doing that. She does all that stuff, doesn't she? She's very good. Very, very good. Claire Balding. I was watching BBC Breakfast Time this morning, and they were showing you the BBC Winter Olympic studio. It looks freezing. Actually, it's probably just, the way it is. It looks blooming cold in there as well. Why would you want to go to the Winter Olympics? Did you hear the story I read out to you on Wednesday? On Wednesday, I read you the story. People had gone to the Winter Olympics, I don't know, possibly to watch the rehearsal or something, and they were leaving in their droves because it was so cold in there. So they're giving everyone heating pads and blankets. There's no roof on the place. These places are very cold, dear. Even colder than it used to be in my house before I would turn the heating on. I don't do that anymore. If I'm cold, the heating goes on, believe me. So that's the Winter Olympics. I watched the Eurovision choosing programme. That was on, I think it was on Tuesday or Wednesday night, but I didn't see it. So I watched a recording of that last night. And there were 6 songs, 3 of which were, three of which were a waste of time. I got itchy nose again. 3 of which were a complete waste of time. And 3 of which I couldn't really choose between. There was a little girl, I can't remember her name. She was black, and she had some dancers around her. I thought she was very good. It was a very modern beat to it, but she was a little bit off-key in places, I noticed. And she had lovely black hair, and a couple of times I noticed the air went into her mouth when she was singing, and she had to go like that. I like that song. There was a group of 3 girls, all sparkly and gold colour. I thought that was all right. And there was a lady. She looked a bit like that girl from the Eurythmics, and she's the one that won. Was it Sune or Soon? Susan? C-S? And she spelled her name, funny like some of the pop stars do. S-small-U. N-E or something like that. I can't remember it exactly. Can I just blow my nose? Do you mind a moment? Excuse me. Yeah, I do a loud nose blow. But I think it was Sune, the one that won, or whatever her name was. And it was a lovely, catchy song. But I seem to recognise the chorus from something else. Did anyone else notice that? I'm sure I've heard that Eurovision chorus, the one that girl, she won the, I don't know what they call it now, Eurovision Decides. It used to be called the Song for Europe. Song for Europe, where we choose our song to go for the Eurovision, which we have no chance whatsoever of winning. No one is going to vote for us. They hate us. Oh, please stay. Oh, I'll tell you what. We're consider staying if you let us win the Eurovision Song Contest. No. Oh, no. We can't do that. No. Mrs. Merkel wouldn't have that, would she? Mrs. Merkel, she needs to go to Slimming World and all, doesn't she? Little tubby thing running around Germany all the time, dear, telling us all what to do. I don't think so. And then there's old Macron. Oh, he's very suave. Hello, I am President Macron. Ain't he good looking? He is good looking. You can imagine him charming people, doesn't he, to get what he wants? Yes, I'm sure he would. Mr. Macron, are you going to vote for us, Mr. Macron? We're consider staying. Oh, no. No, I don't think that's going to happen. No one is going to vote for us for the Eurovision. But our song is very strong. I definitely remember that chorus from another song, possibly another Eurovision song. I've heard it before. So good luck to her. I think it's Sune. Does anyone remember her name there? I can't remember. Good morning to SOS Grivoran. Thank you, Merlin. Eurovision, you decide. That's a horrible title to the show, isn't it? Eurovision, you decide. There's no ring to that at all. I think... what? I think A Song for Europe sounds much better than that, doesn't it? Eurovision, You Decide. Just sounds... Who thought of that title? It's awful. Awful. Thank you. SOS Gregorian says, Armenia votes for the UK. Do they? Well, let's have a few more votes of them then. We'll buy a few more apples and pears from them. Do they do apples and pears over there? Do they? Or something like that? Britain is trying to buy friends, Merlin. They only want us to say because we make massive financial contribution to the broadcast. That's exactly, and we do. Actually, I think there's 5 of us. There's us, France, Germany. Who's the other 2 that make a lot of money? I think Italy chucks a load of money in. There's another one. I can't remember who the others. It's certainly us, France, and Germany who chuck a lot of money at it. It costs millions, that programme, dear. Millions. Millions. I might write to them. Who's producing it this year? It's Portugal, isn't it? What's their TV station? PBC or something like that? That sounds like some sort of sexual thing, doesn't it? PBC. PBC. Paul says, don't know why we bother. Even Ireland won't vote for us now after Brexit. No, they don't vote for us either now. They chuck us a couple of points. We used to get 12 from Ireland. Oh, hurts. That hurts. Not getting votes from Ireland really hurts. And we still give them 12. Never mind, dear. That's the way it is. So I watched that last night. I think we've got a very good song there. Will it do well? No. No, it won't do well because it's all political, and that's all there is to it, unfortunately. SOS Gregorian is from Armenia. I didn't know that, so Armenia exports apples, pears, and the Armenian favourite, apricots. Oh, apricots. They're nice. And you know what's lovely about apricots? You don't have to peel them. I hate peeling things. Don't you? Oranges and things like that. Oh, my mum used to sit there watching the telly, and she'd always have an apple and orange, sitting on her lap, being peeled carefully and shoved in her mouth. She'd never have chocolates or anything like that. Hey, good, isn't it? Good morning to Dawn Davidson joining us this morning. Morning, Dave. So I watched that, and then after that, I flicked over, and there was this programme about Jamie Bulger on the television. Now, if you're not in the UK, you might not know this story, but 25 years ago, it was 25 years ago, I couldn't believe it. 25 years ago, a little boy was out with his mother, and they were in a shopping centre, and this boy is a few years old, I think 6 or 7, something like that. And according to the programme last night, where they interviewed the mother and various people and all that, they'd gone out shopping, and it was the first time, I think, that he hadn't been in his pushchair or something like that. And she was holding his hand. And then she just let his hand go in a shop to pay for something, put her hand in her pocket. When she looked down, he was gone. Disappeared. And that is how quickly children can go. When you've got a young child like that, you cannot take your eyes off them. I mean, a very good example I can give you is about a year ago, year and a half ago, when I was in a swimming pool and I was with my nephew and his little family. And for some reason, Harry is 4 years old. He was with me in the swimming pool. And I think my nephew was somewhere else and my nephew's wife was somewhere else. But Harry was kind of with me in this swimming pool at the Haven Holiday place not Haven Holiday. No, it wasn't Haven Holiday. It was Tattershall Lakes. We were in the swimming pool there. And he's got these armbands on. And I don't know if you know about armbands. They're a devil to get on. They really are a devil to get on. You're pushing these damn things up the arm. Anyway. So he's jumping in the pool, you see. Jumping in the pool with these armbands on. And his sister, Evie, she's doing the same. They're jumping towards me so that I put my hands out. And then they feel safe, don't they? So they think you're going to catch them. But you're not. You're not really going to catch them. What you're going to do is put your arms out like that. So they jump in. And then they go down and come up on their own. You don't need to catch them. And if you did catch them, then it's pointless them jumping in. You're trying to teach them here. You're trying to teach them. Unless, of course, they're very small, in which case, as they come flying towards you, you grab their arms so they don't go down too far. Right? So the girl's doing this as well, and I'm keeping an eye on both of them. The girl's a year older. She's a bit more sensible. Only because of her age. And she's jumped in, and all of a sudden, he's ripped her. She's taken her armbands off because she can now swim. She can now swim, so she's got her armbands off. And all of a sudden, he's ripped his armbands off, and I looked. Well, I hadn't taken my eyes off him, and he's jumped in the pool. Well, of course, he's sunk like a lead balloon, didn't he? In the pool, although it's when I say sunk like a lead balloon, he did go under the water, but it's not deep. I'm standing up there, and it's probably about up to there, but deep enough for a child to drown. And he's gone down. And he's not come back up again. So I've darted over there, pulled him back out straight away. And of course he's laughing his head off, completely oblivious to the danger that he has just been in. And I suddenly thought to myself, because when you look, you can't see them. They're under the water. Have you ever tried to look under the water in a swimming pool? You can't see anything. You know, you've got to look carefully to see anything. But I'd seen him go there, so I was there. And it suddenly occurred to me, had I have looked around, just like that, and then gone back again to look at the side of the pool, I wouldn't have seen him. Oh, where's Harry gone? That's funny, he was there a minute ago. Well, he's in the pool underneath. And you cannot take your eyes off a child for any amount of time, for a second, 2 seconds, because it's done. You know, and you've got to watch little children like that. Anyway, he was all right. As I say, he was completely oblivious to anything going on around him. So that was him. Now, back to this story about James Bulger that was on the television last night on ITV with the excellent Trevor McDonagh, who we love very much. And she just dropped his hand to get her purse up, and the boy's gone. And she searched the shopping centre, in and out of shops, nowhere to be found. And day became night, and everyone's starting to get worried. And what happened in this terrible story was two older boys. When I say older boys, we're not talking 16, 15, 14. We're talking 10. I think 10 years old. I think they were 10 other boys. Two other boys of around about the age of 10 years old had taken the boy and were marching him. Well, he was just going with them. I think one was holding his hand, and they took the boy, James Bulger, out of the shopping centre, took into a railway line where children usually play, apparently, according to the programme, near this railway line. And killed him. And they tried to make it look like he'd fallen over the railway line, and a train came along and hit them. So I suppose what was going through their minds at the time was, if we make it look like a train had hit him, then we won't get into trouble. But, you know, the forensics and people like that, they know what's happened to someone. If someone come along here and whack me over the head and then push me under a car, forensics could get me out from under that car, then look at me and say, well, yes, the car has damaged him, but he's also been whacked over the head. And that was the case with this. This little boy had been hit with bricks and his own shoes, and he was probably dead before the train even went over him. And it was just, I was in pieces after watching that. I forced myself to watch it. I mean, I knew roughly the story, but I thought I'll watch this and then I know the whole story. It is the most awful thing. And it's 25 years ago. I couldn't believe that. 25 years ago. Now, these two boys are now in their sort of late 30s now. You know, and they were talking about rehabilitation and all that business. Well, one of them was released after 8 years and then rearrested shortly after for downloading child porn. And when I say child porn, yeah, I'm not talking teenagers. We're talking tiny little things like 2 years old, babies. I mean, what's all that? What on earth goes through someone's mind to want to download that sort of stuff? But this is all stuff apparently available on the internet, and he had loads of it in there. And what happened is that he'd gone to a pub or something. This one of the murderers. He'd gone to a pub and he'd got quite drunk because when he was released from prison, they give him a false identity or an alternative identity, something like that, which apparently is quite difficult to do. And it's very rare that they actually do it. So he's given this new identity. He was in the pub one night and he got a bit drunk and started mouthing off and then revealed to one of his friends who he actually was. That he was the murderer of that little boy all those years ago. At this point, and then he contacted the police who came round to his house because he had protection as well. Protection. After he was released from prison in case anyone found out who he was. So the police went round to his house and this woman, I think it was a woman police officer, she said when they went into the house, he was at a desk trying to destroy a hard drive. Now, I don't know if you've ever tried to destroy a hard drive. I have myself. Because hard drives on computers, they hold the information, all your accounts, anything personal that's on there, it's all on your hard drive. Just because you've cleared it, you've gone on your computer and deleted files, they're still on there, mate. They're still on there. So if you don't want like a bank robber or a person who wants to defraud you, all they've got to do is get a hard drive, plug it in, run I don't know how to do it, run some sort of software on it, and you can get back all the information that you've just deleted. Bank accounts and everything. Anyway, so they've gone in, and this boy is trying to destroy a hard drive, which is I've never been able to do it myself. Even with drills, you drill through the thing, the drill won't go through it. They're so well made. And immediately the police lady thought, that's a bit odd. Why is he trying to destroy that hard drive? Anyway, they've picked up the hard drive full of dodgy pictures of children. Tiny children. So went to court, back in prison. So he wasn't rehabilitated at all, was he? And it showed you the mother, and they went to the graveside. Oh, it was her, and I put a note on my Facebook wall yesterday about it all, and I was really quite cut up after watching something like that. How two little boys could take an even littler boy to a railway side and murder him. They didn't know him. It's not like they were friends at some point and had a row or anything like that. It was just like someone they'd never met before. And apparently the two boys had tried to take someone else out of the shopping centre earlier on. And it played you the interviews of the two boys, this programme last night, of these two boys who were interviewed at the police station. And you listen to these little voices. No, you think I did it. You think I did it. Why do you think I killed? And it's all like that. And I'm like, my God, I can't believe this is happening. I couldn't sit there and be a policeman and listening to that. But it really cut me up last night watching that. But I think a necessary thing to watch, It's like a lot of this stuff. You can bury your head under the sand if you want to. And pretend none of this stuff is going on all the time, or you can take in the information. It's a bit like the whole. It's not like it at all, actually. But another thing that I watch is the factory farming videos, things like that. Now, most of you, I know, and it's up to you. Most of you bury your hands. I don't want to know how the chicken is killed. I don't want to know how the cow is killed, and all that. Up to you. But I think it's good to be open and to watch this stuff, and then you can decide properly. But that programme last night, I would highly recommend you watch that. Not with children with you. Don't watch it with children. It will terrify them. But a dreadful story, and 25 years ago, and that poor mother will never ever get over that, will that? She apparently split up with her husband at the time and remarried some years later. And they have other children now with the I say the new husband. I've been together for years now, so it's not really a new. The second husband, I suppose you call it. I don't know whether she was married to the first one or not, but that's irrelevant. It's irrelevant, really. So she's got more children now, and her whole house is covered in cameras. The husband has put cameras up everywhere because she's terrified that this boy who murdered her child might come to the door one day. Or, worse than that, might go to the school and come back with her girl as her boyfriend. She will never, ever get over that. And it's just hideous and horrendous. It really has. A lot of people remembering the programme from yesterday. There's a lot of you talking to each other. Are you there? Okay, let's see if there's anything. Evan says on the subject of armbands for children, put them on arms first and then inflate them. You might be right there. There could be an idea. Merlin on the subject of the Eurovision said the big five: Germany, thank you. Italy, I thought it was Italy. Spain is the other one. Spain is the other one who puts loads of money into the Eurovision. Thank you very much. Okay, there's quite a lot of messages there. Good. All right, so you're talking to each other. That's all right. Joanna says there's no respect for human life. No, there isn't. It's just awful. It's just awful. But as I say, if you can watch the story, it'll be on the ITV player thing, and you can have a look on there. All right. So I've shown you some bits and pieces from this morning. That was my television watching last night. And as I say, it cut me up, that programme. But I am glad I watched it, because I now know the whole story and the horror of it, and as always, the police at the end, I think they said this must never happen again. And of course it mustn't happen again. Will it? Probably. But we need to learn from these things, don't we, really? Before yesterday, we went out for another afternoon tea, which was nice. This time we went to the Strand Palace Hotel. I've done a very short video. Again, you might have seen the video yesterday, actually, of the trip we did to the Grove. If you didn't see that, that's on my Facebook wall. Facebook.com/Chris Reardon UK is where you'll find my Facebook, right? Facebook.com/Chris Reardon UK. And you can see the video to the Grove Hotel and sort of country estate on there from yesterday. Just look down there and you'll see it. All right. Okay, doke. Some other items of news. Now, have you got cancer? If you have, I'm sorry, but eBay are about to save you time from going to an hospital. Look at this in this morning's Daily Mirror. It says here, cancer patient buy his own chemotherapy machine off eBay for £175 when the hospital said they were too expensive. So here, you can have your own machines at home now, girls and boys, if you're one of those very unlucky people. Oh, don't know what that was. A brave cancer patient bought his own chemotherapy machine off eBay for just £175 after an NHS hospital said it couldn't afford one. This bloke, 62, has been battling bowel cancer since 2014. That goes on a long time, doesn't it? I think sometimes you think about cancers and you just imagine you're told that you've got cancer or someone's got cancer and then you've got about 2 weeks to live. No, not correct. Sometimes it can go on for years. Years and years. And some people get it and it's gone and then that's it. It's gone. Other people get it and it keeps coming back. One lady I know, and she's lovely, Mary, non-Irish Mary, she's had it 3 times now. She's got it again at the moment. But and in her own words, she rang me up. She says, well, the good news is, the bad news is I've got the cancer again. The good news is it's okay. It's the same as it was last time. And that's how she treats it, with humour. That's how she treats it, with humour. I haven't heard from her for a couple of days because she had a chemotherapy session on Monday. So that does knock you out for a couple of days, I gather. This bloke was told by nurses at Peterborough City Hospital that they couldn't afford to buy any more triple pump machines which administer cancer drugs. They usually cost around £4,300 for these machines. He said, first I was doing my first chemo and the nurse explained they didn't have enough pumps. I said, I'll see if I can find one to donate. I was looking around and one popped up on eBay for £175. I mean, it don't get any better than that, does it? What else can you get on eBay? If you can get that, it says the triple trumps in this morning's Daily Mirror can get the drugs into you much quicker. It cuts 30 to 40 minutes off each treatment. It literally gives you half an hour of your life back each time. Steve, who's from Peterborough in Cambridgeshire, has been through 25 rounds of chemotherapy, which he says is keeping the disease at bay. The father of 3 has to go to hospital and uses the machines every other week. Since making the discovery, he has fundraised over £900 to donate 6 more pumps to the hospital. Initially, staff at the Peterborough City Hospital said they couldn't use the machines because they were second-hand. Well, what difference does that make? We all know things break down when they're second-hand. Cars, for example. My sister, bless her heart, she has second-hand cars. They're forever breaking down. Oh, my car's broken down. You get the phone call. And her husband's very good, though. He can fix things, you see. He's much cleverer than me. He can actually fix things. I can't do that. I'm not very good at fixing things. He can fix anything. My brother-in-law, he can have something that's broken, then watch a video of it being fixed and then fix the item itself. I find that very difficult to do that indeed. Very difficult. Steve, along with chemotherapy nurse Angelo Kuchena, persuaded pump makers Baxter to recommission the machines free of charge, allowing hospitals to use them for another 5 years. So I suppose they put in bits that they think are going to foul, I would imagine, wouldn't they? But these things, you know, if it breaks down, then you put another one on, wouldn't you, I suppose? I don't know. There was a bit of red tape. It took a while, but we persevered, said Steve, who has 2 grandchildren. They needed these machines, and they knew what a difference it would make. There must be loads of these second-hand machines. They must go somewhere, which is an excellent idea. An excellent idea. I wonder what else you can buy on eBay, sort of medical things. What about a heart monitor? How's your heart, boys? How's your hearts? Anyone there? Anyone got a heart monitor? Heart. It's just brought up those Fitbit things. Pulse and blood pressure monitors. I don't know. Hospital equipment. Hospital equipment. Is that how you spell it? Oh, good God, yeah. Oh, you can buy... Oh my God, what on earth is that? You can buy for £1,099 a Y&R England Layla brain retractor neurosurgery surgical hospital equipment. £1,099. I'm looking at this thing. Oh, it looks a bit odd. I think it's something you'd put in your head and pull it apart. Oh, no. What else have we got here? Equipment steriliser, 350 quid you can buy. Electrical safety analyzer testing kit instruments, 400 quid. It was all on here, dear. An enamel bed female hospital equipment that looks like a wee bottle for £12. Yeah, you'd never have to get out of the bed again, girls. Huh? Rare monitoring equipment and stand, £4.90. Oh, it's all on eBay. I think we need to contact the NHS and tell them. They need to be buying some of their stuff off eBay. What do you reckon, eh? Anyway, there we go. Alrighty, let's do today's birthdays, and then it's time for me to go swimming. Actually, it's a bit late now. Happy birthday this morning to James Dean from Tameside Radio up in Manchester. Happy birthday, James. Oh, James, how are you, dear? It's so long, so we hardly ever speak now. We hardly ever speak. There's actually a large group of people. You're not one of them, incidentally, James. There's a large group of people I work with for years and years and years, and none of them have kept in contact with me. I can't believe it. I'm really shocked at that. Really shocked at that. And I thought, well, probably on my birthdays, a couple of them might send me a message. Nothing. A very large group of people I work with for years and years and years. Nothing. Isn't that awful? Don't understand why that's happened, but there you go, one of those things. We move on, don't we? We move on. And then one of my mates, not Ronnie, but one of my mates said, it's because you've moved on. People don't like it when you move on, I don't think. When you've had, well, I've had enough of this. I'm off. That's it. Move on. Never mind. Happy birthday, James. Happy birthday to David. Happy birthday to David and a lovely red jacket. I like the red jacket. Happy David R. Bone. Happy birthday. Ian Kroll. Happy birthday to Ian. Sandy Clifford. Sandy, can't you see I'm a misery? Met a star, now we're apart. There's nothing left for me. Love has flown all alone. I sit, I wonder why, oh why you left me. Oh, Sandy. Oh, Sandy. Oh, do you want me to do the whole song? No, maybe not. Happy birthday to Sandy Clifford, 59 years old today. Happy birthday, Sandy. That's it. All the rest are James Dean, Vicky Dean and Fanny Gorgon. He's had lots of different names. Very strange. 43. Yeah, that's probably about your age, I reckon. And, of course, Kym, who is Evan's wife. It's her birthday as well today. So happy birthday, Kym. Here comes the song. Sing along. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kym, James, David, Ian and Sandy and Vicky and Fanny. Happy birthday to you. All right? Happy birthday, boys and girls. And to let you know, it's karaoke tonight. If you're in the North London area on this Friday night, indeed every Friday, 8:30 till midnight, it's karaoke this evening, hosted by yours truly. We have wonderful singers there, characters. If you can't sing, it doesn't matter. It's about having a go. So join us for karaoke tonight at Central Station, Wharfdale Road, Friday night karaoke from 8:30 until midnight. Thanks so much for joining us on the show today. On Fridays, on Saturday mornings, I record my music and chat show, which is on uploadradio.com. If you'd like a little request on Monday's show, drop us an email, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, and I'll put that in for you, okay? chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. That'll be for the recording of Monday's show on uploadradio.com. Thanks so much for watching and listening to the show. I'm off on another very busy day, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye-bye now.